Alright. Okay, got my notes.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween.
You feel that?
You know, I just feel like I need to lose some of these pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more fat and shit.
I think we're gonna have to be quiet.
Yeah, tell your wife what I did in here. Also kill yourself.
Wow.
Alright people, what's up everyone, and welcome to another review for the Month of Gorror 2018, and welcome to part 3 of my Halloween review series. I apologize for the long delay, but I am back to review every single Halloween movie up until, of course, the release of Halloween, the brand new Halloween, which is just called Halloween. I'm still annoyed about that, but whatever. I am here to talk about the only Halloween movie that has nothing to do with my boy Mikey Myers, and that, of course, is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Which, I'm not gonna lie to you. Witch, whatever. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was a kid, I actually really enjoyed this movie. And then I grew up not seeing it for a very long time, and just like assuming it was bad because everybody talked about how bad it was. So I grew up just assuming it was actually bad, and I just liked it because I was a kid or whatever. So I've heard it was bad, and then I started hearing other people saying, you know what, actually it's pretty good. It might not have Michael Myers in it, but itself is actually a pretty good little horror movie. So I haven't watched it in a very long time, so I was very excited to check it out again. What did I think of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch? Let's find out. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I actually loved this movie. I really enjoyed the hell out of it, and mainly because it took such a different approach from the first two movies. I mean, very different. And if they kept with this whole idea of this being kind of like an anthology series, where every movie is different, it has a different story, completely different premise and all that, then I would have actually been really excited to watch the next few, and I'm still excited to watch the next few. I'm not screwing around and saying I'm not, but the next few might have been actually really interesting to watch because they could have been really different besides just Michael Myers is back. But this is really interesting because it's so weird, and I love it because it's so weird. It is so strange. I can't even spoil certain things in this. Let's just say, I mean, it's called Season of the Witch. There's witchcraft in it. There's toys, and those toys might kill people. There's the famous scene everybody knows about where a kid wears a pumpkin mask, and the pumpkin mask makes his head turn into bugs. So, I mean, this is stuff that you never see in the first two movies. Never. Especially not the first movie. The first one's so simple. It's just like, oh, it's a masked guy who goes around killing people. This one is literally a mask that kills kids by turning their heads into bugs. And that's brilliant. That's the best scene of the movie. Well, okay, that's one of the best scenes of the movie. Actually, I have a personal favorite, but we'll talk about that. It's just a great, fun time. It's not technically a great movie. There's a lot of weird stuff, some overacting here and there. The dialogue itself isn't the greatest. There's the main relationship between Tom Atkins' character, who plays Dr. Dan, and the younger female character is very strange because they have like a romantic relationship, and he's like almost 50 and she's like 22 or some shit. So it's very strange. They even have like one piece of dialogue where it's supposed to be like, you know, there you go, we addressed it. But I'm just like, that's so weird. It's so weird. But besides that, this movie's so much fun. First of all, when it comes to the death scenes from the first three movies, if we're just talking about the first three and we're not talking about the future ones, this has some of the best ones. If you want over-the-top ones where people get their heads ripped off, people get lasers shot in their face, you see a lot of really awesome practical gore effects, people get drilled in the head. There's some really good death scenes here that are really gory, really brutal, very violent, and the sound design on them are great, so you can hear all the bone crunching and all that. Ooh, the first one is great. The first one, someone gets poked in the eyes, right through the brain, and then they break the dude's skull while their fingers are inside their brain hole, or their eye hole, I guess. Whatever. Ooh, say it's graphic, but I like it. Another thing I like is the whole storyline. The storyline, like I said, we follow Tom Atkins, who plays Dr. Dan, who witnesses one of his patients getting murdered by a guy in a business suit. The guy in the business suit goes outside, goes in his car, lights himself on fire, and his car explodes for some reason. I mean, he just put gasoline on it, whatever. You know how it is for movies. So he explodes, and then Tommy Atkins is like, what the shit? And then he decides to investigate. Along the way, the daughter of the patient that was murdered, Ellie, decides to tag along, and of course they build a relationship, like I said. And they have to go to a town where Silver Shamrock, the developers of a toy, like a line of toys and Halloween masks, make their stuff, and they have some sort of connection to the patient that was murdered. So they have to investigate, and along the way, a lot of weird shit happens, a lot of insane deaths, very violent, yeah, the last 20 minutes happens, and I can't spoil it, but oh my god, I want to. I might have to do a spoiler discussion right after this review. But the storyline itself has a mystery to it, which I really liked, where we actually have to figure out what's going on. And now I already knew personally, but if you don't know ahead of time, it's really, really good that the whole mystery, like, what the hell are these business suit guys, or where do they show up? Why are they trying to kill this patient guy in the beginning of the movie? You don't know what's going on. Why do they keep playing this commercial? 8 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Why are they playing that? What is going on? And you're just like going like, oh my god, I want to know more of the mystery. And then when they tell you the mystery, you're like, oh, okay, there's no way I was gonna guess that. They even drop not so subtle hints in the beginning of the movie what's going on, and even with those not so subtle hints, I actually completely forgot that was the reveal. So when it happened, I was like, oh yeah, okay, now I remember. It's pretty great. The movie actually still has some creepy moments to it, even though it's definitely more goofy and more fun this time. There are legit moments where I was like, oh, the soundtrack is still really good. It's not of course John Carpenter this time, but it's actually a synth score, which actually works very well for it, especially this kind of movie where we have so many very strange reveals, which I'll get to in a minute, because I want to talk about it spoiler wise. Don't worry, I'll give you a warning before we get to that. But there's also some really, really awesome cinematography from Dean Cundey. He comes back to do this one as well, and there's some really great looking scenes, I will say, that are really creepy. There's a scene where we see just 5 business suit men standing in the dark, and it's like lit very well, and like it looks great, and the score really works well. It has like this ding, like kind of like sound effect too at times, where it's very jarring and it's kind of jump scary, but actually works very well because the visual itself is actually creepy too. I gotta give it credit. There was a couple times where it actually got me. I also really enjoyed some of the little scenes. Like there's one scene where we actually get to pretty much roam the factory, the Silver Shamrock factory, and how they make all the toys and the masks and stuff, and we actually see all that stuff happening. There's little scenes like that I actually really enjoy, where, I mean, nothing really scary or spooky is happening. It's, you know, it's kind of filmed, you know, generically, you know, it's just like they're looking at stuff and whatever. It's not meant to be anything but just we're going on a tour and we're looking at this factory, and I really enjoyed that. I actually liked scenes like that. Again, the romance portion of it is very strange because Tom Atkins, I have a feeling he was supposed to be played by maybe a younger actor, but they got Tom Atkins instead. Maybe someone in like their late 30s, early 40s or something like that, besides someone that's almost 50. Especially someone like Tom Atkins that looks like he's about 50. He definitely doesn't look younger than he's supposed to. It's just very strange, that romance. That kind of ruined some of the movie to me because it just felt creepy. There's one scene where they have sex and he just straight up starts sucking nip. I was like, ew, this is weird. This is weird. I don't like this. He's like 50. It's like her dad. It's just weird. But of course, what makes this movie so great is the last like 20 minutes of this movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, everything else is really fun and really entertaining, but what really sells this movie is that last like 20-25 minutes. And I can't talk about it because it's a spoiler. I'll just say this. It is so insane, so many different reveals, so many twists. You might not, there's possibility that you might not like it. If you like the first hour of the movie where there's a lot of mystery and stuff, and I mean, don't get me wrong, there's silly scenes in the first hour too, but not to the point where we get to at the end of the movie. But you might not love it. Me personally, I did. Oh yeah, I liked it a lot. So I was with it completely at the end. So overall, my only complaints really is like some of the acting is maybe a little over the top. for the most part, they're all, you know, the main actors are really good. The guy that plays Cochran is really good. He's very good in this movie. He plays the head of Silver Shamrock, and he's very good. Tom Atkins is good too. He's usually good in these horror movies. And the girl that plays Ellie actually is really solid in this too. So I was actually surprised by that. Just a lot of the supporting actors are a little too over the top. There's this family, this family in an RV that shows up, and every time they show up, they're always like, yeah, what's up, guy? Yeah, he's supposed to be like the father of this RV family. He's supposed to be like this salesman. He's like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, he's always energetic and happy. I just felt like those characters were fun, but they were a little too over the top. You know what I mean? And of course, the relationship was weird, but everything else was so much fun. Even the Halloween feel, it gets the Halloween feel pretty right at times. You know, it felt like it was actually set during Halloween when it was supposed to be set during Halloween, because the whole movie's not on Halloween. It actually takes about, I would say, like 45 minutes to get to Halloween. So whatever. Anyway, that's not a big problem. But anyway, I will give this movie, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a 30 out of a 40. I had a great time with this movie. I really did. So 30 out of 40, that's a 7.5 out of 10. I think that's a pretty good score. Really fun film. So I enjoyed it. That is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. You guys can leave now, because right now I'm getting into spoilers, baby. Oh yeah. Alright, let's talk about this, baby. The movie goes out of control towards the end, and I love it. First of all, the Cochran character is revealed to be this he's a toy maker. We already knew that before the movie starts getting insane. But he's like this toy maker who is evil to the point where he hates kids, and he wants to bring back the essence of what Halloween used to be, where Halloween used to be all about like people getting murdered and stuff, kids and animals like just being massacred and stuff. So he wants to go back to the good old days when Halloween was like that and not about getting candy and shit. So he makes this whole plan where he gets a stone from Stonehenge, which has mythical qualities to it, or magical qualities, I should say, where if you take a piece of it and put it inside a pumpkin mask, because they sell masks and stuff, kids will buy that because they want it. They will wear it, and then their heads will turn into bugs, and they will die. That's not even the weirdest part, okay? I mean, that is the weirdest part, but that's not the only weird part. Along the way, we find out that all the business suit guys, because there's multiple of them that all have no emotion and they act robotic. We find out that Cochran is such a great toy maker that he not only can make a really awesome mask that turns your head into bugs, he can also make an android, multiple androids that look and sound human for the most part, but they're not. They're androids, and they can do everything a human can do pretty much, except they're androids. And all these business suit guys are androids. There's a scene earlier where an android takes a guy that was talking some shit about Cochran and rips his head off slowly, but really brutally. And it's awesome. And later on, when we find out they're androids, it's quite a reveal. Even Tom Atkins is looking like, what the shit? Because he actually kills one of them, and he's just like, what? And then the Stonehenge thing gets revealed, and then we find out Ellie, the whole romantic lead of the movie, is actually a robot too. We never even find out if she ever was a human before, or if she was a human then got turned into a robot later. She just out of nowhere, once the main character saves her from the corporation, she's just a robot, and we never find out if she's alive or dead. And then the ending, I forgot to talk about this in the actual review. The ending is great. The ending is all at first Tom Atkins looked like he succeeded. He killed all the androids. He killed Cochran. Destroyed the Stonehenge. Everything looks like it's fine. He just has to turn off the broadcast, because the broadcast is what triggers the mask to turn kids' heads into bugs. So he has to turn that off. But he's calling all these news stations, turn it off. Not news station, but TV programs and stuff. Turn it off, and he turns one off. And then another, a kid's turning the TV, and he turns to a different channel, and it's playing it on that channel. He's like, no, you have to turn it off on that channel too. And then it gets off that channel, and then the kid turns it on to a different channel, and it's on again. And he's like, no, you got to turn it off on every channel. Ah! And then the movie ends. and you're like, what the fuck? So it ends on such a nihilistic ending, and I love it. This movie hates kids, and I agree. But anyway, there you go. That is Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. What a great time I had with this one. On to Halloween 4. So anyway, there you go. Thank you. Until next time. Goodbye. Boo! Scared you.